So I remember being told all the time, and I'm still told today, the terminal is so powerful, the command line, you can do all this stuff. But I was super uncomfortable with it for so long, and it just was like, ugh, what's all this stuff? And what I've learned is just the more you practice with being in the terminal, the more you realize it's super valuable and it's super nice to just know how stuff works. So today, hopefully, I can teach some tips that I've learned over the years that really help me, and I use all of these today, like all the time. I use them literally today. So today, I'm gonna start with what even is this right here? So how come every time I type some command in, that comes up all the time? So all that is just a variable inside of your computer, and you can change that to whatever you want. So say I change it to the word command. Now it's just gonna be command every time, right? And see how we have all of this stuff in here, right? And it's just like a big junk pile. If you type in clear, it'll clear your terminal for you, right? And give you a nice little space there. Or say we had all this junk and you wanted to clear things, you can do Control L. Now I'll explain why Control L is super helpful later, but you'll see it gives me lots of stuff if I hit Control L a bunch of times. Alright, so I'm going to actually change PS1 to \w $space. Alright, so this \w right here is actually just a special thing for PS1, and it'll show me my working directory. I personally like it. There's lots of different things you can do for this PS1 variable. Look up how to change them, Google it, and every time you open a new command line, it'll actually go back to your original one. There's a way to make it change every time. Also Google how to do that. Super helpful, very nice. So Control L. So now the next thing that like I was super confused on, I had no idea why I had to change directories. Like I have to be in the folder to run stuff, but also you can run stuff like this. Like say we're in desktop, we're going to 2D lab stuff, and I have an executable called, let's see, what did I call it? Did I call it run this? Yeah. And I can run an executable like this and never have to change directories or paths or folders, right? But it's super convenient to just be in that all the time. So if I do desktop, also, before I move on, so if you type in cd or change directory and you type capital D and you hit tab twice, it'll show you everything that starts with a D with what directory you're currently in right now. So if I type in E, hit tab again, it'll autocomplete. The biggest thing, the biggest tip I have is hit tab all the time and it'll autocomplete, give you suggestions, super helpful. So say I don't know what everything in here is, instead of having to type out like ls and list all the stuff, I can hit this twice and it'll show me everything that's in here. So I want to go to 280 lab stuff, so I type in 28 and I double hit tab. Oh, 280 lab stuff, 281 project stuff. So let's go 280 lab stuff. Look at that. And you see my PS1 variable shows me my working directory. That's why I kind of like it. So if I want to list stuff, you got your ls, right? And then there's actually some hidden files, just as a side note. And if you do A, it'll show you all these hidden files and stuff. All right, so say I want to run the thing now, do /run this, right? A lot easier to type. But say I was in the wrong directory and I want to go all the way back to the beginning. If I just type in cd, hit it, back to the beginning, right? cd desktop, and let's say by accident I went into my 281 projects. I don't want to go all the way back to the beginning. I just want to go back one time. So if I do cd dot, it'll actually just go up a directory. You see I'm in the desktop, and then I can do 280 lab stuff like that, right? So there's all my stuff in here. All right. So I'm actually going to show what, like an error in a program. So I just have Sublime up, and this is my messaround.cpp. So here's a U of run executable. That's what we compiled earlier. So I see a lot of people have errors like this, right? You have string v, and then you do cout v because you accidentally forgot this doesn't work really. So let's write it. I made a makefile. I'll make a tutorial on makefiles later too. And you get all this stuff, and then you have to scroll up, and you're like, where did I start? And you have all this stuff in your terminal, right? So what you can do is if you hit Control L lots of times, you get all this blank space, right? And what's really nice about that is, so now I run make and I'm just compiling, right? Now I can scroll up, and wherever I start seeing these blank spots, usually all you really want to start with is the first line. So here you go, right? And then you could scroll up really fast when you get 500 of these things. Super, super helpful. So Control L and clearing stuff will be very, very helpful. So I'm actually just going to get rid of that real quick. So get rid of this. Save it. All right. So let's just make sure it compiles. All right. So the next thing I'll talk about is actually echo. And echo, if you type whatever you want to type in here, it'll just essentially output exactly that, right? And that seems kind of useless, except for like, say I want to do the PS1 variable. If I echo PS1 like this, it'll just show me actual PS1. But if I go echo $ PS1, it's going to try and get a variable named PS1 and echo the value. And there's our \W and $, right? So say I want to make a quick text file, and I don't want to have to open up Sublime or gedit or whatever I have, right? Make one. Say it just, I wanted to say hello world, right? All right. I can actually file output it into hello.txt or whatever you want to call this, right? So I can call it hello with 4 L's, right? And then if I do that, and then if I list stuff, it'll automatically create this hello.txt. And I could open Sublime like this, right? And then go File, Open, and then go, and then open hello.txt and see that it has that hello world, right? Or if I'm in the terminal and you want to just look at it really quickly, you do cat, and then if you do hello 40 L's, keep hitting tab, it'll show me what's in there. So if I want to see what's in my messaround.cpp, so messaround.cpp, there it all is. It'll just show you real quick, right? So that's super helpful because you can also combine things. That's what cat stands for. It's concatenation. So say I wanted to take hello.txt and combine it with itself again, right? And output it into output.txt. Now if we look at output.txt, you see it has 2 hello worlds in there. So that's pretty helpful with diffing stuff and other stuff like that. I think this is a great place to stop. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.